Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we are going to be talking about the Super Mario Bros. Movie which just released in theaters this weekend. And if my setup for this video looks a little bit different, that is because we're actually going to be playing Mario while we're reviewing Mario. That is why I have this different setup here. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel to see maybe not reviews exactly like this one, but just reviews in general for a bunch of different movies. And also, I have a review out for the 1993 Mario movie, the live action one. I watched it last week in preparation for this movie to come out, so definitely check that one out. It starts out in an April Fool's Day way, that is why it's kind of set up that way, but definitely watch the video, it's a lot of fun. So we'll be talking about spoilers for this movie as well, so if you've not seen the Mario movie, definitely go check it out, especially if you are a fan of the video game like I clearly am. And to give a little background in terms of what my experience is with Mario, basically, I am the biggest fan ever of Super Mario Sunshine. That is the game that I grew up playing. I had a GameCube growing up, of course, and I absolutely loved it. So I didn't actually play a lot of platformers like this one in general until I got the Wii. And once I got the Wii, I of course played this game. I played Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and I will say that the story mode in Super Smash Bros. Brawl is one of my favorite story modes ever, and I hope that they do some sort of Smash Bros. Adaptation like that, which I'll get into how they could possibly do that towards the end of this video. But in general, that is what I grew up with. I played, Super Mario 64 on the DS when that came out. I played the new Super Mario Brothers game that I'm playing right here. I played Super Mario 3D World when the Wii U came out, so I played a lot of the newer games, and of course I went back and played the original Mario game, and so I am a big fan. And so as a big fan of Mario in general, this movie really did a lot for me in terms of a Mario movie, because of course it's going to have all the Easter eggs and all the references from everything that the game has, which I'm sure there's going to be videos out when this movie's released on VOD that just has everything just in the background of this movie, because there's so many different vague references. Of course, one of my favorite references was actually the Luigi's ringtone in the movie was actually the GameCube startup sound, which that was the moments where I realized that this movie is just going to be a lot of fun. And also the moments that I realized this movie was going to be a lot of fun was at the beginning. Mario and Luigi's van broke down, which is actually very similar to something that happens in the live action Mario, which weird enough that exact same situation happens, and they have to like run to their next place where they're going to fix the plumbing, their first call that they have. And look at that, I beat my first level here. But as they're running to that next location, it is like a platformer level. It's all tracking on the side as they are going through this cityscape essentially, and you get to see Mario jumping through all these different hoops and doing the course essentially while Luigi is struggling behind him. This also shows that Mario is fairly capable at the start of this movie. In terms of the two brothers, of course Luigi is going to be the more bumbling idiots of the two, and so it fits in with their characters right away, and it shows that Mario is capable. It shows that he is a character that can possibly do all the things that he's asked to do later on in this film. So it's nice to see him do that. And of course, once he gets into the Mushroom Kingdom, he's going to be a fish out of water. He's going to have to learn what all these things do. And one thing that honestly really surprised me about this film, because I wasn't really sure what the movie was going to do in terms of like how it's going to adapt the video game, which basically there's actually mushrooms that he eats where he can get bigger, and the power-ups in this movie essentially work exactly how power-ups work in the game, which I don't know what I was expecting this movie to do in terms of like the power-ups, but I wasn't expecting it to be as faithful as it was, because this movie really does, in terms of its plots, feel exactly like a Mario movie, where it's not really the point of the movie is not the story, is what I'm trying to say. The point of the movie is you're watching Mario do some fun things. He saves somebody from Bowser, and then that's really the entire movie. In terms of Bowser's storyline in this movie, which I thought Jack Black, in terms of the voice cast, I'm just doing terrible right now. In terms of the voice cast, I actually liked Bowser the most, because he was the most like the video game in terms of he just really loves Princess Peach. There's an entire song where he's just pining over her, and it's so funny, because I think Jack Black actually wrote the song himself as well, which is just perfect. The Peaches song, and the way that it kind of like done in the editing where you see Peach fade in around him in the background, it is so incredibly funny. But going back to Mario as a character, I actually did like Chris Pratt as the voice, and right at the beginning of the film, which is also another moment where I realized that this movie is not going to be the type of movie that people are fearing of it to be, which, Chris Pratt being the voice of Mario, you think that's going to be a little bit odd, but they give reason to that. It's not just the fact that you're getting a famous actor to play the role. They have a commercial that you see actually in one of the teasers where they're just trying to pitch their plumbing business. You get to hear Chris Pratt and Charlie Day do the classic Mario voices, which I thought was very funny to hear. And honestly, yeah, if they were doing that throughout the entire movie, I feel like, yes, it probably would have been very, very obnoxious. Let me see if I can get as many one-ups as possible. Oh, I missed one. God, this game, I played this game so often as a kid, as you guys can probably clearly tell. But yeah, they give a reason why his voice sounds just like a normal New Yorker, and it doesn't have that classic accent, and it was just an accent done for the commercial, essentially. And I thought that was a really great idea to get people on the side of Chris Pratt right from the beginning. And Charlie Day was also perfect casting as Luigi. I really loved his voice as well, and just the squirminess that he gives to Luigi was just perfect. Keegan-Michael Key as Toad was also just perfect casting. And of course, Jack Black was perfect. That song was amazing. But also, Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach was also pretty great. And I know they did the change where we're not trying to... Oh god, you do not see that. They're not doing the classic thing where Princess Peach is kidnapped by Bowser. They're doing a thing where Luigi is one who's kidnapped by Bowser, and so Mario has to go on an adventure with Peach this time around to save Luigi. And I think that this actually works pretty well because the story that they're really trying to convey in this is the brotherhood of Mario and Luigi and this relationship that they have formed with each other, which I do think when I come to my negatives of this movie is probably going to be a part that I wish was... I wish it dove a little bit more into that relationship where I felt more of an emotional connection with these characters when it comes to the final oh god, did I get the one up? I did get the one up. But when it comes to the ending of the movie and when they're finally reunited after Mario saves him, I wish I felt a little bit more with this relationship because it started very strong in the beginning of the movie. You know, you get to see just different moments of them working together. Their parents don't really believe in what they're doing. They started their own plumbing business and they just think that, you know, Mario's kind of a joke in this movie. And I really do like how Luigi stuck to his side. Like, if we're together, we can do anything. And they started off this arc very strong, but as soon as they were separated, there wasn't really much in the movie to really care about, you know, this rescue mission besides it being, of course, Mario and Luigi. And of course, you're rooting for Mario because you've played as Mario as a kid for many different years. But if you're not a player of the game, really this relationship boils down to what they tell you at the beginning of the movie, and then the rest of the movie is just kind of Peach and Mario, and you don't really get to see much else in terms of development with this relationship. And when they did focus on that relationship, there's actually a flashback where you get to see baby Mario and baby Luigi, which was so funny to see them as babies. Also, let me actually mention, since I just got Yoshi here, Yoshi's in the post-credit scene. That's all you really get to see of Yoshi. You get to see Yoshi's Island a little bit, and there he goes. That's all you get of Yoshi for this video. But yes, you do get that flashback. God damn it. Hold on, give me a second. Come back here, you... God, no! Don't... I swear, if he dies... In terms of that flashback, like I mentioned, you do get to see baby Mario and baby Luigi, and there's this bully that's kind of messing with Luigi, and there's a very... No! Are you kidding me? There's a Do I give up on Yoshi? Okay, no, here he is. God, I suck at this game. I swear I played this game a lot as a kid. I swear, I promise. But no, there's a moment... I've been trying to talk about this for like 5 minutes now. There's a moment where you get to see baby Mario and baby Luigi, and this bully is kind of messing with Luigi. And I love the fact that Mario stands up for him, and that's kind of the thing that's holding Luigi, you know, in prison, you know, locked up in the cell. He has hope that Mario is going to save him because Mario has always been by his side. I just wish on Mario's perspective, you got to hear Mario tell Peach about, you know, his relationship with Luigi, because you get one heart-to-heart between Peach and Mario where they are talking about their journey that they have been on, and I wish they got to talk about the dynamic between Mario and Luigi from Mario's perspective, because we got to see it from Luigi's perspective. You clearly see that Luigi cares a lot about his brother. Oh, there's a secret down here. What in the world? There's a secret. But anyways, you get to see that relationship from Luigi's perspective. I just wish you got to see that also from Peach's perspective. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this. Dang it. That kind of sucks. But that's why I think the Rotten Tomatoes score is the way that it is for this movie, because I think as a Mario movie, it's a 10 out of 10. You get all these references and Easter eggs in the background. You get to see Mario do the obstacle course and fall down the little blocks that fall underneath your feet in a very entertaining way, and just everything when it comes to the Easter eggs and how Bowser acts and how the plot literally is Bowser just wanting to marry Peach because he loves her so very much. All these different things in this movie is so accurate to Mario that as a fan of Mario, yes, it's a 10 out of 10. This is why this movie has an A cinema score, because it's going to make all of these fans very happy about all of those different things. I'm just going to run. I've died. I just died. But as a Mario fan, when you get to see moments like that where you get hit by a shell, or in the Mario Kart scene when Mario threw a shell and it bounced all these people around, or it bounced back and it hit Donkey Kong and he lost his fire abilities, all these different ways of gameplay that it kind of explores throughout this entire movie is so entertaining. I just wish I was more emotionally invested in the dynamic between Mario and Luigi, and maybe if they kept them together that'd be better, but I just think really all they had to do is have a moment. I did the same thing again. If they had a moment where you get to see Mario's perspective on on why he wants to save his brother so much, besides him just being his brother, I think that could help this movie a lot. And I'm sure you've heard a lot of criticisms of this movie from a lot of reviewers at this point, but the licensed music, I think of anything, I was concerned about this movie being made by Illumination because of the, I guess, habits that Illumination has that it does a lot in its movies, and one of them is licensed music, and the musical score in this movie is easily probably the best part in the entire film. I loved the entire score. The Mario theme was played throughout the entire thing, and it was amazing to see, especially at the end when you got the invincibility star and you got to have all that fun stuff in this movie. All that is great, but whenever it had a licensed song that you've definitely heard in like a million different movies before, it kind of got on my nerves. And if it was a song that wasn't played as much in different movies, I think that would have... No! That was so bad, but if it didn't play those This is so hard to do, by the way. I'm going to take a little break just to mention that playing a video game and talking like this when you're trying to review a movie in a very professional way that I normally like to do is extremely difficult while playing Mario. If you've ever wondered, if that's ever come across your mind, it is not easy. But what I was saying with the licensed music, if it wasn't music that has been played like a million different times in a million different movies, I think it would have worked a little bit better, because some of the songs actually do work and do fit decently, but for the most part, every single time that they played a licensed song, I just wish that they played the Mario theme. I think the most egregious moment in this movie where you had licensed music was actually at the very end of the movie, after all the events transpire and Mario and Luigi defeats Bowser together with the invincibility star. All that stuff was really great, and the musical theme in that entire sequence was amazing. But once you got to the very ending and you get to see Mario wake up with the alarm clock and Mr. Blue Sky starts playing, and you get to see the title card with Mr. Blue Sky playing instead of the Mario theme, like, why would you cut out the Mario theme for the title of the movie, for the very end at the start of the credits? I just didn't think that worked, because it didn't even get to the lyrics of that song and just kind of paused there, which I thought was a huge missed opportunity in terms of the music. And that is why the licensed music came just so frustrating at a certain point in this movie, because it just didn't work for me. Okay, I need to kill these guys, because there's no way in hell that I can talk while also trying... that was so close. While also trying to play this game. Let me just... Here we go. You just get out of here. There we go. See, I'm good at this game, guys, I swear. Now let's talk about Princess Peach, because of course, like I said, she is kind of... So let's talk about Princess Peach in this movie, because like I said, she is updated for modern times. She's not the damsel in distress in this Mario movie. She's actually a very capable character, and I think that just makes a whole lot of sense, because a lot of times in these modern Mario video games, Peach is actually along with the adventure. Of course, she's in Smash Bros. She's very fun to play in that game, but also I think in Mario 3D World, Peach is actually one of the characters they can play as. I think Rosalina is a damsel in distress in that movie, and so I'm not opposed to Luigi being the damsel in distress, apparently, in this movie, and especially to see how capable Peach was in this film was cool to see, mainly because she grew up here. Of course, she's going to be good at this obstacle course. Of course, she's going to be the one kind of teaching Mario the ropes, because she's lived here the entire time, and I think one direction they can go with the sequel of this movie is they mentioned that Peach doesn't know where she came from. When she was a baby, of course, you get to see baby Peach in a flashback in this movie as well, but when you get to see her, she just kind of stumbled upon one of the pipes and appeared in this world, and she was kind of taken in by the different toads in this world, and they crowned her as princess, and she doesn't know where she comes from. So I think in a sequel, you can see Peach going to the real world, or at least to Mario's world that he grew up in, and maybe you get to see who her family is. Maybe you get to see Daisy in that movie. And when I talk about what the live action movie did actually better than this movie, which, yes, I think there's two things that the movies did either just as well or better in the live action one, and that is, the inclusion of Daisy, because Daisy is not in this movie. So of course, having the inclusion of Daisy just in terms of her being there is going to be better than this animated movie, because she's not in this animated movie. But also Thwomps are also not really in this movie, and in the live action one, you get to see like a wall that says Thwomp on it. And that's I guess their version of having a thwomp in that movie. Oh, here we go. Now we get to do the end of the movie where you have Mario with the invincibility star, even though it's kind of useless for me in this very moment. Am I gonna miss that? I am gonna miss that. God dang it. All right, yes, I'm small now. I was trying to talk and this happened. But yes, in the live action one, you get to have Daisy, and you also get to see the Thwomp. The closest thing you actually got to a Thwomp in this movie that I saw on my second watch was at the wedding scene towards the end of the movie. I am not going to get these red coins in time. But at the end of the movie, with the wedding that Bowser's trying to throw, you get to see the speakers in the background of the wedding that's playing the music. They are in the shape of a thwomp, but they're technically not a thwomp. So I guess that the live action one also had its kind of in the background as an Easter egg, and so I guess the live action one did that Easter egg of a thwomp just as well as the animated movie, along with having Daisy in the movie, which, you know, is better just out of omission from the live action or from the animated one. So in terms of that's all the live action one has over this. Of course, this movie is going to be a million times better. And in terms of all the action sequences that you get to see in the movie, like I said, that first one that you get to see towards the beginning of the movie where you get to see Mario jumping through New York City was really fun to see, especially it being the side scroller. Of course, you're going to get the training montage of Mario, you know, going through the obstacle course, which was a lot of fun, where you get to see what the power-ups are going to be in this movie. I really love to see Peach go through the obstacle course as well. I thought she was really fun and entertaining this. But of course, you get to see the Donkey Kong section of the movie, which is, I guess, the Smash Bros reference in this movie, which was really fun to see. I think Seth Rogen was also perfect casting for his role, just as perfect as I think Charlie Day was for Luigi. But he was just a lot of fun, and the Smash Bros sequence was a lot of fun. You get to see the cat suit that is in, I think, Super Mario 3D World, which was, of course, a funny moment where you get to hear Mario say meow. And this leads directly to the Mario Kart sequence of the movie, which I thought was just as good as they promised in the trailers. I loved this entire Mario Kart sequence, and it actually started in a really fun way, because once, you know, Mario beat Donkey Kong and they have the Kong army to go with them to defeat Bowser, and they're going to get all their carts. They get their carts exactly like you do in the video game, where there's like the little 3 wheels that you get to select where your car is going to be. You get to select the body of the car, the wheels of the car, and the glider of the car, straight from Mario Kart 8, which I think is so funny to see. That's, you know, just extremely accurately adapted from the video game, which, again, this movie takes everything from the video game and adapts it extremely faithfully, for better and for worse. And so, of course, you're going to have a moment like that, but the entire Mario Kart sequence where they're chasing, and then the Bowser's army appears, all the chaos ensues with all the carts flying everywhere. It is so entertaining. Of course, it being the Rainbow Road is the only way you can possibly do a Mario Kart sequence in a movie like this. I loved everything about this, and I love that moments where Mario gets knocked off his cart and he lands on somebody else's cart and he steals it and he starts riding with that. I wish you can do that in the video game. I know that doesn't really technically make a lot of sense, but imagine if you can steal somebody's cart in Mario Kart and just kind of take it over, and they're stuck with something else instead, or I don't know how that'd work in a video game, but it was a really fun moment to see him fall and try to recover and steal somebody else's cart. Of course, you get a blue shell moment, which I thought was really funny, because there's an antagonist throughout this entire Mario Kart sequence, which Mario is being chased by this one turtle, and you don't really realize that he is a blue shell until he gets knocked out. And, hold on, let me get the star. Come on. Mario! You idiot, Mario. What are you doing? Oh my gosh, whatever. Okay, but the entire moments where you have the blue shell come out of nowhere, and it was a lot of fun. Again, this movie is extremely faithful where it matters, and it is just so fun. When I say that the movie is, god damn it, and like I said, when it comes to this movie being extremely faithful for better and for worse, when I say for better, I mean all the moments like this, where it's going to be extremely accurate for absolutely no reason. They did not have to go to these lengths to animate these things in a certain way to make Mario say his little catch lines and the little wahoos the way that he does, and all the different moments in this movie that is just so accurate to the video game, like the cart selection in this movie, like the power-ups being exactly what the power-ups of seeing Mario get bigger. They did not have to do these things in this movie, but of course they did. And when it comes to the worst of them adapting this as faithfully as they did, I think that the idea that Bowser just wants to try to kidnap somebody to get to Peach, to marry Peach, and the fact that there's really no character development and there's really no, I guess, moments where you can really dive into the characters and the characterization in this movie is very much a video game adaptation where the story is not the point and it's the action and it's the fun adventure elements that is the point. And so, like I said, it works as a Mario movie as like a 10 out of 10, but as a movie, I think it's probably like a 6 out of 10. So I think it kind of averages out, for me, at least in my own opinion. This movie's like a 7.5 out of 10 as a Mario video game adaptation. I really did enjoy this movie, especially on second watch. I thought this movie was a lot of fun on rewatch, and just, I think this movie should be played on loop at Universal Studios at their new Mario Land. But before I end off this review, I want to talk about what I think they can do in the future of this franchise, because of course it's going to be a new franchise that Illumination has, because this movie is going to be absurdly successful at the box office. And so first off, of course, there's the obvious of them doing a movie where you explore Peach's past and see exactly what happened to her, how she got to the Mushroom Kingdom. Maybe you can meet Daisy in that film and have fun with that backstory. Maybe you can do a Super Mario Galaxy movie. I'd love for them to do some stuff about Super Mario Sunshine because, of course, like I said, that's actually my favorite game in the entire franchise. I love Sunshine so well. Let Peach and Mario go off on a vacation and you get to meet all the characters in that. That would be a lot of fun as well. But also explore Super Mario Galaxy, do a Luigi's Mansion movie. Sure, just do whatever you want in this universe because I have a lot of fun just watching this movie in general, and I want to see more movies from them because I think Illumination did a pretty good job. I just hope that they focus a little bit more on the scripts as well for these movies to make them a little more, I guess, in-depth than this movie was. But more importantly, I want Nintendo to be not afraid to make some movies now. I want to see a Legend of Zelda movie, whether it's live action or animated. I'm sure this partnership with Illumination means that they're probably going to do a lot more animated stuff. I want to see a Metroid movie, a Star Fox movie, and then by the end, do an Avengers-style crossover where you're going to have a Super Smash Bros. Movie that follows the storyline from Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Like I said, that movie has, or that game has a really great story mode where basically you have, I guess, the creators, they're like all these little statues, all these little game pieces, and of course the lore of Super Smash Bros. Is that it's a bunch of kids playing with their action figures, making them fight with each other, and so all these characters start turning to statues, which is absolutely devastating to see, characters that you love and characters that you play with turn to statues and essentially die inside the video game, which is kind of like a Thanos type of thing where they're snapped away and they're kind of gone and out for the count for the time being, and you get to the point where you get to the Master Hand and you fight the Master Hand, and I think that storyline has a lot of heart to it because, of course, you get to see all these characters turn into statues and you don't know how to save them, which is just a lot of fun things to watch with that, a lot of emotion that you can have with Mario and Luigi and Peach and Daisy and Yoshi and all these different characters that can have in that, along with all the other characters from the Super Smash Bros. Lineup, which I just hope that they have, the I guess, foresight to do something that's, I guess, integrated with all the different Nintendo IP characters, because I think it could really work and I think it could be a lot of fun to see in the future. So that is going to be the end of my review talking about the Super Mario Brothers movie. What did you guys think about this film? I really did enjoy it, so definitely comment down below all the things I missed talking about in this review, because I'm sure I missed talking about something because I'm very distracted playing this video game at the moment. So comment down below and also subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this little twist on a review of a video game movie while also playing the video game that it is adapting. I should have done that for The Last of Us. Also check my Last of Us review, which is also a show about mushrooms. So that's also a lot of fun, but definitely subscribe to the channel, leave a like, comment down below, and I hope to see you guys all in my next one.